The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back, and you're up, and you're Adam. What does it even mean to be up and Adam?
That means they are too. You're
Yes.
back.
But what does up and Adam mean? What does that expression mean?
It's a figure of speech.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird.
There's lots of figures of speech.
Yeah.
You know, Tom, do you know what scapegoat is?
No, I don't know.
So it's like, they'll be the scapegoat. That's a biblical reference to Israel, and they would symbolically put the sin of man in Israel on a goat, and they'd let it out in the desert.
Really?
It's the scapegoat. And then we're getting near Easter. Jesus is my scapegoat.
Oh, right, yes.
Because he's the sacrifice and he takes the sin. So scapegoat. We learned a figure of speech today.
Very nice.
Yes.
We're taking it back, folks.
There we go.
Speaking of taking it back, we're looking at horses. We're going to talk about horses, which, man has been fascinated with horses for, thousands and thousands of years.
Yes.
Dianne Sestak is with us right now. She's the events and fundraising coordinator at Sunshine Horses, sunshinehorses.org if you want to keep up with us. How you doing there,
I'm
Dianne?
doing great, thank you.
Are you an equestrian person yourself? Do you ride?
No, I do ride a little, but I prefer to just do the groundwork and kind of hang out with the horses.
Are you comfortable around horses? Because, they got such big heads when you pet them and everything. But you pet them and all that with no problem?
You ever been kicked by a horse?
I'm not going to answer that.
Have you ever been bit by one?
I have been bit by several, yes.
Bad bites or
No.
just,
At the same time?
Love bites.
Love bites, yeah. Little nibbles.
We were out at Kritz's farm several years ago, and Judy was feeding a horse. And this one, Nate was little, and the horse bit her. To this day, Nate thinks that's the funniest thing in the world because it was just like they don't have teeth; they're not like sharp. You kind of pull it out. But to this day, I was like, Nate, remember when the horse bit? He laughs. Wow. He thinks that was a riot. Yeah. So
people are obsessed with horses, and. It's amazing when you watch an old Western on how comfortable it makes people look. Think about that if they were the major mode of transportation in today's modern
You better
world.
Be comfortable if it's your ride.
That's it. It's like, honey, I'm going to the store, and you hop on your steed and you go to the store. So what is it exactly that you guys do, and where is this organization? Where is your building and everything?
So we started in 2003, and we were the person that started our organization.
Yeah.
Worked at the track, the harness tracks, and found that there was
around here or
some of the harness tracks around here, and found that there really was no aftercare for some of those horses. So she began Sunshine Horses as an aftercare facility.
So for horses that would race at Vernon Downs or Saratoga and things like that, they retire.
Yes.
And then they would come here.
Yes.
Just like we're trying to retire Steve to go to the Sunnyside Nursing Home. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But yes, so they would either go to auction where they perhaps would go to Amish because they were harness horses. They knew how to pull.
Oh, all right.
So, it was just one of those things where we tried to get them before they ended up in a bad situation. So we've evolved since then, and now we still take standard breds from the track, but we also take other horses that are in dire need or in need.
So they're like a horse rescue.
Exactly. We are a horse rescue.
Okay.
And when we get the horses, we retrain them, we rehabilitate them if necessary, and then our main goal is to rehome them.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long can a horse live? I mean, what's the lifespan?
We've got a horse on our farm right now that's about 32 years old.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's adorable. He thinks he's 12.
They can go, Isn't that something? And if they
so you got
remain
like
healthy.
horses for sale or for borrow, or how do you sell? How do you do that?
They're adopted.
You make a deal?
They're adopted. Yeah. So, and we have a kind of a rule that if you can't keep the horse after you've adopted it, we do ask that they come back. So the horses, sometimes what we do have is horses that have been
So
returned to us.
people will take them off premise. So if you adopt a horse from your place,
you take it with you,
actually
Tom.
take it with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you retrain a horse? So the horse has been running in circles for all these years. Do you make him stop turning left, or what's a retraining of a horse?
It's a lot, and we have schoolers. We don't necessarily have trainers, but we have schoolers that come in and they put the saddles on the horses and they get them to be comfortable with the saddle. Then they get comfortable with having a person on their back and learning all the cues.
Because a harness horse didn't have someone on it.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So that's all new.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's all new.
To the horse.
Can you teach an old horse new tricks?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can, just like me.
And what kind of, so I don't understand the different breeds of horses. You know, there's quarter horses and stallions and big ones, little ones. What kind of horses are these predominantly?
So a standardbred horse is typically, he or she, they're, typical standard sized horse.
How many hands high?
It depends. Yeah, exactly. We have some that are about 16 something hands and some, smaller ones as well.
My hands?
Yeah. How many hands is Steve?
He's pretty tall. But yeah, those the tall ones, they're pretty tall. They're big.
Do you have veterinarians on staff or something? Do you have a bunch of doctors there?
We have North Country works with us. They're the vet office. They're up in Pulaski.
Yeah.
And they work with our horses. Dr. Emily comes out and she's on our equine care committee as well. So she gives us some really handy advice when needed. A lot of our horses are in need of vet care. So having that person who we can call right away is really helpful.
So people wouldn't go to your place just to view horses or hang out for a day and
not
pet
necessarily.
the horses. It's not that kind of a place.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
You can't come and just ride. Those horses are not meant to be just ridden. One of the things that we do that our mission is helping horses, helping people. And so one of our biggest things is we all know that horses they can communicate through it's just a human horse communication that is second to none.
Really?
Yeah, and it has to do, I believe.
I don't know what you just said. Well, explain that.
It has to do, I think, with your heart and with the beating of your heart and how horses can feel your emotion. They're like a mirror to your emotions. And so when people come in, it's very interesting. We have people who come in that are emotionally in a tough place, and the horses get it. We have kids or adults that come in with special needs. The horses get it. And, I always tell a story about one of the horses that my dog had passed away. I was in tears. I didn't know. I was brokenhearted. Went in the stall. That probably wasn't smart. Went in the stall, and he just wrapped his head around me and just held me.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have.
So there's a therapeutic effect
with
these horses.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we do a lot of that. We're starting with the Alzheimer's group coming up soon.
Great.
Yeah.
So you let those people come in. So you do events where you let regular people just come and interact with the horses.
Yes, and we're very cautious as to which horses we use and what we do.
Do you have like hard to place horses like Tom? If Tom was a horse, he'd be hard to place. Do you have like ones that are quick sale and then hard to place horses?
We do. Some really need a lot of care and aren't always healthy, and because of that, they may stay.
And where's
with
your
us.
support come from? Because your organization, how do you pay for this thing? Because that's a lot.
Exactly.
Of horse food.
Exactly. It's 100%. We are 100% donation and grant funded, which is very difficult. And we also have all volunteers, no paid staff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, so if people love horses and they say, oh my goodness, they maybe have a space for a horse or they have horses now, this is a resource where if they want to add a horse and help out, they could do it. Do you have like a horse show at sunshinehorses.org? Can they see the horses, or is that just an organizational chart?
No, there's a lot to see on that website. There are horses you can see. There are events that are coming up. We have our biggest gala, our biggest event of the year is coming up. And so
it's all at sunshinehorses.org. You can give, you can learn. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.